Hey all, Ron here from Military Images Magazine with a new episode of Life on the Civil War Research Trail. Today I want to take you to April 16th, 1865, 2 days after the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln. We're going to go to Boston, Massachusetts, to the Park Street Church where crowds are gathering, the faithful are gathering. They are in shock. They are processing what has happened, the death of the president by the hand of an assassin with a bullet. America has never experienced anything like this before. The actual death of a sitting president killed by someone. Shock, grief, range of emotions, anger, trying to process all of this. It's not easy. Many people are struggling to try to make sense as the churchgoers are walking through Boston on their way to the church, whether on foot, perhaps traveling by carriage. They're seeing the signs of Victorian mourning, buildings draped in black bunting, wreaths hanging all over, individuals wearing black crepe mourning on their sleeves. There's more than likely a number of soldiers who had served their 2 or 3 year enlistments who were also in town. Those arriving back towards the very end of the war with their uniforms, wearing their black crepe around their armbands, officers carrying swords with their black crepe wrapped around the handle. A solemn and sobering moment, and folks flocking to churches to be able to get some solace, to try to make sense of what had happened. One of those men who grieved along with all the throngs of folks that day is pictured here. Andrew Leete Stone. He was a veteran. He had served as chaplain of the 45th Massachusetts Infantry, had did his part. He had seen the horrors of war, tending to the dead and dying on battlefields in North Carolina. And here he was with 2 days to prepare a sermon to talk about the fallen commander in chief, the fallen leader. What he had to say is memorable as he tried to process Lincoln by making sense of the man and making sense about what he might be remembered as, how Americans of the future might remember him. And so I want to read you an excerpt from that sermon to give you a sense how one man, Reverend Stone, tried to make his churchgoers, his comrades, at least appreciate Lincoln and come to terms with the grief. So here we go. The step with which he walked, Lincoln, he walked towards his objects in the country's welfare, neither wealth nor favor could make to swerve. All was simple, easy, and natural, but firm fibred as oak, true as steel. The most faithful discharge of his great duty, the highest good of the nation, to this fixed, unrevolving star, his soul was steady as the needle to the pole. He had a sharp insight that cut through all the rind of sophisticated trees to the core of difficult questions, leaving such light on the stroke that other minds could follow. He was a man of parables and translated the dark and vexed problems of political science into pleasant similitudes, transparent to the dullest eye. Where a diplomatic answer would have been dignified obscurity, he told a story through which flashed the honest light of clear intelligence. He was, in this way, a wonderful teacher of the nation. His brief, pithy, humorous narratives have made crooked things straight through 1,000 tortuous walks of state policy. This quaint, ever-ready humor was the soft cushion upon which the great burdens of the public cares impinged, covering and shielding his nerves from laceration. It saved him half the wear and tear of his official work. It kept his friends and conciliated those who differed from him. He could convince with a smile, refute with a jest, turn the flank of heavy reasoning with this agile lightness of wits, and conquer kind feeling, if not persuasion, generally both. His goodness was his greatness. His honest heart helped his straightforward mind. He saw truth and duty more clearly by this inward illumination. His reach of genuine desire carried out his reach of intellect and became genius. He was more sagacious than his advisors, partly because he was more single hearted. He sought so earnestly the best means to the noblest end that he was sure of an intellectual triumph in their discovery. He kept the moral sky clear, and it reflected light upon the mental. A pure patriot who walked with honor, faith, and truth, though walking amid the defilements and corruptions of political life, and so kept his garments unstained. But this in no time, in the freshness of our affliction for his eulogy. It is too soon to write that. We must wait till the clouds have risen from all the paths he trod, till the smoke of conflict and the haze of prejudice are swept away by the sun-bright air of our newly risen day. By and by, the future will lead us up to calm heights that will give us perfect vision over all these fluctuating levels. We are too near Abraham Lincoln yet, fully to survey and respect his great nature and his great work. Not till the wave on whose crest he rode has receded with him a little, shall we be able to discover on the background of these eventful times the true proportions of his greatness. Every coming day will add to his fame, and coming generations will testify that no purer, no nobler, no more fruitful life has been given to our nation and American history. So there you have the words of Andrew Leet Stone, Reverend, chaplain, veteran of the 45th Massachusetts Infantry, speaking to flocks of the faithful at his church on Sunday morning, April 16th, 1865. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time on Life on the Civil War Research Trail.